Sand is the most important material in the development of a modern city. It has allowed us to build buildings as tall as mountains on any surfaces, and 85% of all the materials we pull from the earth is sand. It is the most consumed raw material in the world after water, and it is used in everything from cement to glass, which makes up the majority of a building. Thus, it is very sought after. Especially in Perth, where our buildings consist mostly of brick construction, sand is a fundamental material in the culture of building of Perth. Hi, my name is Biak Mual, and I'm going to talk about the importance of sand in the culture of building of Perth. Sand is found in most parts of Western Australia, as we are very rich in sand. Throughout Perth's history, sand has always played an important role in the culture of building of Perth. The city of Perth in Western Australia was founded in 1829, and from as early as 1829, the buildings were constructed using brick, which means that sand was used for construction of Perth as early as 1829. All throughout Perth's history, most of the important buildings, which are now heritage buildings, uses concrete foundation and footings, so sand has always been our route for construction. The Anzac Cottage, the Council House, the Government House, Perth Town Hall and St. George's Cathedral are just a few examples of these buildings. According to data from Curtin University Sustainability Policy Unit, a new dwelling in an outer suburb requires an average of 111 cubic meters of sand per person, while a new infill dwelling in a middle ring suburb requires 73. Ironically, for Perth, a city built on sand dunes, sand will increasingly become a factor which increasingly limits outer suburban growth this century. So where exactly do we get our sand from? There are many methods of extracting sand from the earth, but in Perth, they are mainly mined from the quarries. Sand suppliers mine and process the raw material around Perth. And for this video, we'll be focusing on a particular supplier. NLG Sand Supplies is a family-owned business commencing in 1972. They supply sand to residential, industrial and commercial builders. They have 4 sand quarries in different locations, including Jendicott, Bullsbrook, Heron and Albury. So what is a quarry? A quarry is a type of open mine in which dimension of stone, rock, construction aggregate such as gravel and sand is excavated. The image shows a quarry where sand is mined. After the sand is mined, it has to go through a number of steps before it can be used for construction. This diagram shows how sand is prepared for construction. Sand mining can be a very wasteful process. It needs plenty of manpower, specific machines for their roles, and large quantity of water to produce clean sand that can be used for construction. Most of the machines are run on diesel and electricity, which produces carbon emissions. Even though sand has helped Perth to be where it is, are we really going in the right direction? Sand plays an important role in the built environment as it holds the key to modern world, which allows complex buildings to be built as the shape and form can be greatly altered. It allows us to build tall buildings by forming the foundation. It is used in everything from mortar to concrete. Sand mining creates thousands of jobs for people. You cannot build any kinds of paved road, foundations of buildings and sidewalks without it. Modern cities such as Perth are literally built upon sand. But are there any consequences to mining sand? The main problem we are facing all around the world is the shortage of sand, as not all the sand that we found can be used for construction. It also has environmental disadvantages as it damages the environment, destroys ecosystems and habitats for flora and fauna. They are a natural flood protection, but over mining can cause erosion and climate change. So does the cons outweigh the pros? So, what are the alternatives for sand? As noted, sand mining can be very damaging to the environment. Therefore, there are many studies that can reduce the use of sand. University of Queensland has been researching to recycle glass waste and turn it into glass sand. Recycling glass into glass sand has demonstrated the qualities similar to natural sand with no loss of strength. Using larger particles of crushed glass to produce concrete can reduce carbon dioxide emissions by up to 18%. And studies have shown that recycled glass can be used for beach replenishment, both reducing shoreline damage by sand extraction while also reducing the amount of glass that goes into landfill. One avenue to reducing sand extraction is implementing a more rigorous recycling infrastructure and moving towards a circular economy for concrete. What is glass sand? Glass sand is recycled glass produced from smashed glass to be reused as a substitute for normal sand. Studies from the University of Queensland shows that recycled glass sand has properties very similar to sand and uses less water when used for concrete. Using glass sand will reduce landfill and carbon dioxide by reducing energy required for mining sand. In conclusion, I want to emphasize that sand has always been one of the most important materials in the culture of building of Perth. It has allowed Perth to advance in the built form as well as create many opportunities for people. It will continue to be one of the most important materials in the culture of building. Therefore, we need to reduce the impact it has on the environment by using alternatives such as glass sand.